The more I look at the consensus, the consensus rankings, the more value I see. While most people are using the consensus rankings to win their leagues, or they think they're going to win their leagues, I'm using it as an advantage to look for the value and get the league winners and get the guys that have insane value, sleepers, spot the people that are going to be amazing value that could break out instead of just following the consensus rankings. Consensus rankings won't help you win. Today, I'm talking about 5 players that have insane value because I can see through the BS of the mainstream consensus fantasy football rankings, all right? It's about seeing beyond. That's what I do here on every episode. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. Today, we're talking about 5 insane value fantasy football players. Let's get to it. All right, guys, 5 insane players this year to draft in regards to value. We're talking value. We're talking these guys to finish top 5, top 10, and they're well below their ADP where they're going to finish, right? Because consensus rankings lay it out in a terrible way. Remember last year, Amon St. Brown was ranked like 70th amongst consensus rankings, finished in the top 20. Jamar Chase was ranked in the 30th, finished top 5. Najee Harris outside the top 10, finished top 3, 4. This is what I'm talking about, guys, about seeing the value. Cooper Kupp was drafted behind Robert Woods last year. Insane value round 4, wasn't he? Deebo Samuel was coming off round 6, 7, 8. Insane value, finished as a top 5, top 10 wide receiver, right? They had Ayuk ahead of him, and on and on and on. I continuously give you examples of this. Years ago, Baker Mayfield was ranked ahead of Josh Allen. I was grabbing Josh Allen, right? It's about seeing the value before it breaks out. It's about seeing the value when it's ranked lower and it finishes top 10. Insane value. Now, I've handpicked 5 players here in this episode, okay? But these 5 players, there's way more than this. Like, I'm looking at the consensus rankings now. I'm seeing Christian Kirk ranked 39th. I'm seeing Drake London ranked 40th. I'm seeing so much value here. Treylon Burks, who's going to be probably slated as a wide receiver 1, sitting 46th. I just gave you 3 more bonuses right there. There's so much insane value this year. I see it. I don't know if you guys see all of it. I see every single one of them, right? And I give you all of that in the 16-round draft solution. So if you haven't secured it yet, get the 16-round draft solution. I've linked it below. Use code TUBE20, save yourself 20%. Sleepers, breakout, optimal players, and drafted each round. Full mock drafts, everything you need to be light years ahead of the competition. Get 16 rounds now. If you have not got it, get it, experience it. Everybody that had it last year either won their league or finished top 3 at least. People that had played their league the first year finished at the top, right? People are like, wow, what would you have some sort of like cheat code on how to win fantasy football? Yes, I am the cheat code. It's like having me at the draft with you. Get 16 rounds. Use code TUBE20, all right? Now let's dive into these 5 players here that are insane value. Won't spend too much time on them because, again, there's so many of them I'm seeing and so many people that are overrated. Again, that's why you got to subscribe to the channel so you can watch more episodes as I dive more into this. But, again, everything in the solution gets 16 rounds too as well. Linked it below. All right, so the first guy's insane value. I can't believe this. This guy is sitting 45th amongst wide receivers. 45! The guy I'm talking about is Alan Lazard. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers' wide receiver 1, okay? I cannot emphasize to you how insane this value is. You are getting this guy, round 5? Maybe round 6? Where is he coming off here? Yeah, it depends on where you're drafting, right? Like, the guy is sitting 45th. Actually, more than that. He sometimes falls. His ADP is climbing. We're hearing things out of training camp. Aaron Rodgers is now starting to talk about him, so his ADP is climbing. You can get this guy after round 5 or beyond, okay? Typically, again, 45th on the consensus rankings. I mean, overall, I don't even know where he's ranked overall. I'm going to have to keep scrolling down here when I look at the consensus rankings. But, like, this guy is, like, well over 130, 140. I'm not even going to sit here and pull it up. But 45th on the wide receiver rankings. Guys, this is insane. This is Aaron Rodgers' number 1 target. And then you go and look at the consensus rankings, and you see DJ Moore sitting at 14th. Who's throwing the ball, DJ Moore? I mean, Sam Darnold is fighting with Baker Mayfield for a spot. How is DJ Moore 14th and Alan Lazard is 46th, 45th on the consensus rankings? That is insane value. Now, I like Christian Watson later as a sleeper. From what I'm hearing, he's missing training camp. Apparently, he's having minor knee surgery or something like that, which is not good. Not a good start here. But, I mean, his talent is so I mean, physically, Christian Watson's the most talented wide receiver there physically on paper, right? You don't just get 6'3", 6'4" wide receivers that run his speed. Talent, opportunity, drafted as their first wide receiver off the board. Obviously, the Packers see something in him. They need to bring in, they need to fill that void for Devontae Adams, right? So Watson is going to be a factor. Not a good start, obviously, because he needs that time to build with Aaron Rodgers. But when I'm looking at Alan Lazard, okay, I mean, this is Aaron Rodgers' potential wide receiver 1. Obviously, there's some speculation on whether he could fill, Adams' role. Obviously, that's going to be hard to do. Either way, I stack Lazard. I get Christian Watson later. I've got Aaron Rodgers' number 1 wide receiver. It's insane, guys. Like I said, DJ Moore. A.J. Brown is sitting 13th. A.J. Brown busted last year significantly. Who's throwing the ball to A.J. Brown? Hurts? Do we trust Hurts to be like a top throwing quarterback? I don't see it, right? Marquise Brown sitting 22nd ahead of Lazard. Like, guys, this is insane. Like, insane value, Lazard. Watson, just get both of them, okay? Number 2 here. All right, now, let me remind you, Russell Wilson's now on the Denver Broncos. Jerry Judy had not had good quarterbacks throwing to him. Didn't really stay healthy. Jerry Judy, guys, sitting 26th amongst wide receivers. Again, sitting lower ahead of guys like T. Higgins, who's a wide receiver 2. Waddle, who's a wide receiver 2, right? We got A.J. Brown, who I don't trust. DJ Moore, right? Terry McLaurin, I don't trust Carson Wentz. Guys sitting below or ahead of Jerry Judy. Now, Jerry Judy, obviously a top prospect coming into the NFL, out of the NFL draft, being drafted very early a couple years ago by the Broncos. Never had a good quarterback thrown to him. Russell Wilson last year made, in standard leagues, made Metcalf and Lockett top 11 wide receivers combined. Okay, now, last year, Metcalf, when you look at a guy like DJ Metcalf, who was the number 1, wide receiver for Russell Wilson last year, had himself a pretty decent campaign, okay? DK Metcalf, 129 targets, 967 yards, 12 touchdowns. We're looking at a guy like Tyler Lockett, finishing 16th. Metcalf finished 14th amongst wide receivers. 107 targets, 8 touchdowns, 1,175 yards. So Lockett was the guy, a little less targets, 73 receptions compared to Metcalf, 75, 1,100 yards. So I'm picturing a similar type of scenario, except I still think more traffic is going to be going, more volume is going to be going towards Jerry Judy's way. Either way, I'm getting a wide receiver 1 after the 5th round. Like, this is insane value. Like, I'm getting Russell Wilson's wide receiver 1 after I've gotten my robust RBs. I'm getting Aaron Rodgers wide receiver 1 after I've gone robust RBs and anchored an ace quarterback. In one league, I literally went 3 running backs, workhorses. Then I went like, who was it? Justin Herbert. I anchored my team with an ace quarterback, and then I started stacking these wide receivers. Insane value, right? Like, this is crazy. There's so much value at wide receiver here, okay? So I get Lazard later. I get Jerry Judy later. Insane. Now, here's another insane value. I posted this on my Insta yesterday, on my Instagram. If you're not following, follow Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. Number 3 here, we talk about Lazard. We talk about Jerry Judy. Insane value. Jerry Judy sitting 26th amongst consensus rankings of PPR. Alec Pierce, okay, the top prospect receiver drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, who need a wide receiver. They got Pittman there, but has Pittman proven to be the one? We don't know. But Alec Pierce, insane work ethic, ultra elite talent, one of the pure best deep pass receivers out of this NFL wide receiver class in 2022 here. Alec Pierce is currently sitting 93rd on the consensus rankings. He's going to be the wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 on the Colts. I don't care what anyone says. People are saying he's a wide receiver 3. Who? Behind Pittman, who's not proven himself? He had an okay season last year. I still like Pittman. I'm just not paying 3rd round value. People say, do you like Pittman? Yes, I like Pittman. Yes, I like Lazard. Yes, I like these guys. But I like the value of Christian Watson, Alec Pierce later. Because for Pittman's value, I'm drafting Breece Hall. I'm drafting Zeke Elliott or someone like that at number 3, round 3. So I like Pittman, but I like Alec Pierce, right? They believe in him. High draft capital, young talent. Again, sitting 93rd on the consensus rankings. This is insane value. Nobody's talking about Alec Pierce. He's going undrafted. Matt Ryan throws a lot. Matt Ryan has an improved O-line. He will get the ball to Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce will be an immediate impact player. Big time sleeper. Insane value. Sitting 93rd. Well, some people say, well, Joe, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to pick him up. He's going to be, the mainstream are going to sleep on this guy. And when he breaks out, which is week 1 or week 2, or let's say week 3, or has his big game, He's a waiver wire wonder. You guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. This guy should be on everybody's team. Immediate impact. You guys are drafting Jalen Waddle and Higgins round 3 and 4. Higgins and Waddle round 3 and 4. And you are not drafting Matt Ryan's potential wide receiver 1. You guys are insane. Insane, Consheepsis. Absolutely insane. Alec Pierce, 93rd amongst consensus rankings. Insane. Absolutely. Number 4 here, let's go to a quarterback here. Also insane value. I see this guy. He's a quarterback. We're talking Russell Wilson. This guy could be a top 5 quarterback. All the weapons in the world, all the talent, all the revival of his career, all the excitement. He's ready to go. He's ready to light it up. He's ready to leave a legacy here with the Broncos. We're talking Russell Wilson, currently sitting 9th amongst quarterbacks. And I'm telling you, there's a ton of value at quarterbacks. And this isn't even the insane value, but I think it's insane because he's being slept on still. I know he's top 10 on the consensus, but he's falling round 7, 8, 9, right? Like, this guy is falling in drafts. I mean, you might want to get him earlier, especially in a super flex league. Obviously, he's coming off earlier. But trust me, like, this guy is still going to be decent value, okay? You get an anchor team with an ace quarterback. But there's so much value at quarterback. Like, so much value at quarterback. Matt Ryan is going to be undrafted in leagues, right? You guys are drafting, you're telling people to draft Pittman third round, but you're not drafting the guy throwing the ball to him. Are you insane? Aaron Rodgers, I'm giving you a bunch of bonuses, sitting 12th amongst quarterbacks. 12th amongst quarterbacks. 8th, 9th round, okay? Now, that's one thing they have in common. They don't like Lazard or Watson or anything like that, and they kind of don't like Aaron Rodgers. But a weird situation is they love Tyreek Hill, they love Waddle, but Tua is chopped liver. He's sitting 16th amongst quarterbacks. Like, what is wrong with you? This is why rankings don't make sense, guys. All right. So Russell Wilson sitting 9th, insane value, tons of value at quarterback as well. All right. And number 5 here, I may sound like a broken record. I've talked about this guy before. I'm not talking Saquon Barkley's insane value, but that's not the guy I'm talking about. The guy I'm talking about, number 5 here, is Ezekiel Elliott. Now, Ezekiel Elliott, saw a video of him trading. He looks ultra elite, locker room hero there, leader. Probably the best player on the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to rely heavily on the run. Amari Cooper is gone. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb's going to get some work. Jalen Tolbert, I think, is a big-time sleeper this year. Zeke Elliott is going to get some work, sitting 17th on the consensus ranking. 16th, 17th, third-round steal. You're getting an RB1, a top 10 finisher in the third round. I cannot express to you how insane that value is. Same with insane value with Breece Hall. Breece Hall could go off. Again, another bonus for you. So, again, I told you 5 here, but I've given you a ton of bonuses. Rewind. Watch this over again. Breece Hall could absolutely go off. Absolutely go off. Top 5 finished. That type of explosiveness, right? Improved offense. Jets. Not excited about them, but insane value in the third round. But the guy particularly I'm talking about is Ezekiel Elliott here. Now, people say talk numbers. This guy finished top 10 last year. And again, I had the beat writer on. The beat writer was on the show, right? We talked about this. He was dealing with a partially torn PCL last year. Zeke Elliott, okay? So Zeke Elliott, top 10 finisher. Now, when we're talking volume, let's talk about numbers here for Zeke Elliott. Last year, 1,002 yards, 10 touchdowns, 237 attempts. I think his attempts go up a little bit. He's been on a downward trend over the past 3 years. That spikes back up a little bit as he has his last hurrah, I think, in his career. Has a good career. So I'm picturing around 250 rushing attempts this year, maybe 240 to 250 range. I'd say 11 to 1,200 yards. I think a little more on the ground, 10 to 12 touchdowns. Again, insane value. You're getting that RB1 production as an RB3 as part of a robust RB strategy. Define robust RB, Joe. What is it? Drafting 3 elite running backs within the first 4 rounds with no committee. And Zeke Elliott falls in that category as your RB3. Do I trust Zeke Elliott as my RB1? No, I mean, if I had to, yeah, but I'm not going wide receiver early, right? I'm going RB, and then I'm seeing him in the round 3 or 4, right? So I like Zeke Elliott as my RB3. So what I'm saying here, guys, like, this is insane. Alan Lazard, Christian Watson, Alec Pierce. These guys have good quarterbacks thrown to them, right? Insane value. Jerry Judy. You're getting Russell Wilson's 1. Big debate. Is it, Sutton or Judy? I think it's Judy. Either way, they're both insane value. Okay? You're telling me that you're going to rank Judy, Cortland Sutton, Judy, 22 to 28 in around that range, but you're going to draft like Waddle and Tyreek Hill up there. So somehow you trust Tua more than you trust Russell Wilson. I don't even want to curse on this episode, all right? Get the heck out of here, man. I'm telling you, this is insane. I see the value. If you guys want to see all the value, get the 16 round draft solutions. If this is making sense to you and you don't want to follow what everyone else is doing, is ranking based on consensus. If you want that outside the box thing, get 16 rounds and subscribe to this channel. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys. Thumbs up. Let me know some insane values in the comments below. We'll talk soon. Thank you.